wanted to do that because I actually had the Halloween. I wanted to do a Halloween special episode, but I couldn't get the topics and things that I wanted. But I remember when I thought about wanting to do the Halloween special, I was gonna start it by saying that. And I was like, when we were gonna do it today, I'm like, well, I'm still gonna do it. It's been in my head this many days.
I did my little, because while I was at work, they did a Halloween trivia page where we learned a lot about Halloween that I had never even heard of. But that's in the living room, so maybe next year.
Anyway, we didn't skip the intros already. My name is Kenny K. Royal.
And I'm Jennifer Tilly.
Oh, I've been seeing a lot of her.
Well, I mean, she's like the bride of Chucky, so...
She always carries that damn Tiffany doll around.
Yeah.
Like, that is the center point of her fucking Instagram, essentially.
I feel like that's what we, other than Family Guy, that's what we know her most for.
I mean,
There's
yeah.
a other movie that I love that she's in, but I'm sure most people don't know what it is. It's called Relax, It's Just Sex. And...
Never heard of it.
Oh, it's a good movie. I think it's a 90s movie, I believe. But the way it starts off is basically about it's not just about gay people, but the main character is gay, and it's him sucking some dude's dick, and the dude nuts in his mouth, and he's trying to decide whether or not he wants to spit it out or swallow it. And I'm saying this is like the beginning of the movie, so you can imagine what happens later. But he's just sitting there, like with the nut just sitting in his mouth, like, should I spit? Should I swallow?
So by this point, you may as well just go ahead and swallow it down. If it was in your mouth this much.
Well, I guess because this is like during the height of the AIDS epidemic.
It's in your mouth.
So he's like,
it's in your
should
mouth.
I swallow it? I don't know.
I can understand it being in the height of the AIDS epidemic, but it's in your mouth now, son. No matter what you do, spit or swallow, if you was going to be infected, you were infected the moment it entered your mouth. Like, I just don't understand the thought process here. If you was this worried, tell them to nut on your face or something.
Well, people were never educated about exactly what it did. So
I mean, and then for him to nut in your mouth, that means you were sucking on his dick without a condom. So if you were, there are many times before that you would have caught an STD.
He also was talking about that in his head too. Like, this is all like his mind, like his thought process while he was sucking the dick, and it was like him thinking about, does he have HIV? Should I use a
Find time
condom?
to ask, bitch.
I mean, he thought about all that stuff. It's an interesting movie. There is a rape scene. Okay. As most gay movies have, but it's a twist though.
Is there? What's the twist?
So, like, they're at a club and they're coming out of the club and they're really drunk, and there was like these gay dudes who were like talking shit about them, and they're like, and so one of the straight dudes had grabbed the main gay character, whatever. It was gonna rape him with a beer bottle, and somehow he got loose. Long story short, he raped the straight dude. God. And, because basically he was like, oh, you want to know what it feels like? So, but like I said, interesting movie. Jennifer Tilly, I mean, hey, there you go. A little tidbit for you.
Well, I was going to say, speaking of Jennifer Tilly, but not so much really.
Okay.
Nicki Minaj dressed up as Tiffany from The Bride of Chucky for Halloween. She had two Halloween costumes.
I only saw the one where she did Harley Quinn.
Yeah, she did Harley Quinn, and her husband Ken did Joker. Which I hated. The wig they put on his head, it didn't look like it sat right on his head. It was weird.
But Cardi B was Poison Ivy.
I saw. I loved that long ass hair she had.
Gorgeous. But you know who I have not seen is Beyonce.
Yeah, she usually does dress up.
She had a Halloween party, but I don't know why she has not posted anything since then. But since we're talking about Beyonce, I do have my first story is about her. Apparently she's gearing up to film a new music video in London. I'm assuming for Brown Skin Girl because of what the premise is here. They're looking for brown and black girls only. There's like this whole casting list right here of what they're looking for through October 31st through November 2nd and all that type of stuff. And so apparently the white girls are butthurt.
I was already thinking that in my head. I was like, here come the white tears.
Yeah, they're feeling like they're being discriminated against because they can't be in the music video. I mean, the song is called Brown Skin Girl.
If that's the one that she's performing.
I'm very sure it is.
If that's the one that she's doing the music video to, then so be it. My thing is, now I'm never one for tit for tat when it comes to the race play situation, when it comes to discussions about race. Mm-hmm. But my thing with this is, so you feel discriminated against. How do you think black people have felt for centuries, bitch? Where they're looking for, most movies and stuff are casting for, let's say, a lead role, and it's only for a white woman or white man.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you can't be in one motherfucking music video, and you are bitching, girl.
It's really, because, okay, so some of the things where they're saying they were like, they're looking for families of all types, blended, single parent, queer, adopted, all family structures. They're looking for a diversity of dancers, contemporary, jazz, hip hop, African, ballet, Latin, rhythm. It says we are casting for black and brown people of all cultures, nationalities, ethnicities, genders, ages, and backgrounds based in London. Just none of you white bitches. So, which, I mean, as Beyonce has gotten older, we have noticed that she's become more and more pro-black. Mm-hmm. Not to say that she wasn't before, but I feel like she is more
very steadfast.
Yeah. It's more of an agenda for her. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not shocked that she would. And why not? If you look at if you look at a white music video, who's in it? I mean, you don't see too many black people or people of color in them. So, I mean, so calm down. You get to be in everything else.
For me, it'd be a different situation if this is for another song. If like I said, we both assume that it's going to be for Brown Skin Girl. Yeah. But if it was for a different song and then you were just like, I just don't want you white bitches in here regardless. Not because of the premise of the video, just regardless, I don't want you in here. Yeah. I can see a little bit more of your argument of it being discriminated, or you feeling discriminated, not you being, but you feeling discriminated. Yeah. But with this, like I said, with us assuming that it's being Brown Skin Girl, I just don't understand why you would think she would make a song called Brown Skin Girl and put a bunch of light skin or white people in it.
To be very honest, almost anything that's on this particular record, because it is a very pro-Africa record. Yeah. And so, I mean, that's what they're going for. I feel like the entire record is talking about black culture.
It is.
So, and I mean, what's so much different from Lemonade? I mean, I think, unless I'm wrong, everybody in that was black.
I don't think there's a single white woman in Lemonade.
So, I mean, like I said, y'all get to be in everything else.
Right, y'all. Go sign up for one of the plethora of auditions you can actually get that the rest of us black people can't touch. Because they want a white lead for most of this shit. But, anyway, before I get on a tangent about white tears.
White tears.
I was going to continue discussing Nicki Minaj because of the fact that not only, so I was going to tie it into her dressing up as Tiffany for Halloween, but she put out another Queen Radio. And Nicki Minaj only puts out a Queen Radio when she's about to clap somebody up. Yeah. Like, I have not seen, or I myself personally, being a Nicki Minaj fan, I don't listen to every one of her Queen Radios, unless, like, usually if I listen to one Queen Radio, it's been like months or days or weeks after the fact, and then if I'm not doing anything else, I'll continue to listen to the ones I haven't heard. Yeah. But any of the ones I have heard, this bitch has not one time gotten on Queen Radio and not clapped somebody up. Every single time she gets that ass in front of that microphone, she is clapping somebody. This time she was clapping up Wendy Williams. And she did it because, and this is what's bizarre to me, is Wendy Williams did this a while ago, if I'm not mistaken, when Nicki Minaj and she had posted for the first time that she and Ken were getting married, and she had posted a picture on Instagram or a video, and it was showing like the Mr. and Mrs. mugs and the groom and bride stuff, and like hats and whatnot, and Wendy Williams went on and she was talking about it. She was like congratulating her or whatever, but then in true Wendy fashion, she went and came with a dig underneath that. And she was like, isn't he a felon? And like just discussing her husband. She was like, what he go to jail for? And it was,
I remember that was like the first day that she came back, right?
Mm-hmm. And she was talking about it being manslaughter, because of course he did go to jail for manslaughter, and a vehicular manslaughter. And then there was another charges on him from years ago, where he's like a sex offender. And now sex offender can mean many different things.
It's a plethora of things.
Yeah, we hear sex offender in most people in society.
They
your
think
first
that you
instinct,
molesting children.
Yeah, molesting children. You didn't go out and put your dick in somebody's face and you've been offending people with your sex.
Well, I'm very offended.
But that's not all that it takes for sex. You can get a sex offense charge. Yeah, if you go and pee in a bush and the cop so happens to see you peeing in that bush, you a sex offender. Yeah. So the scale is very far and wide.
Yeah.
And so Nicki Minaj got on her Queen Radio and it's typically just wanted to kind of stand up for her husband. I mean, which woman wouldn't?
Yeah.
Or a man. So she's standing up for him and she brought up that sex offense charge. She was like, that was a huge misunderstanding. And the woman that lied about it tried to come out and take back her testimony or take back her, what is it called? When you go forward. Whatever that's called.
I'm no lawyer.
She tried to take back what she had said, and the cops had told her, well, now, they had threatened her. They said, if you take that back, because technically it is lying to a cop, if you take that back, we're going to take you to jail. So the woman was like, oh, well, lock that nigga up. Do what you got to do.
Child, this is the Bible truth.
No, I just had a lapse in judgment. Let me walk my ass up out of here. But she discussed that. She's like, that's where that whole situation happened. And the thing about manslaughter, she was like, that was in his past. That was years ago. He did his time. Why are you still bringing this bullshit up? And of course, since Wendy was bringing up her shit, she was like, why are you so worried about me? Where the fuck was you at when, what the hell is her husband's name? Because Kevin. She's like, where the fuck were you at when Kevin had his dick knee deep in that bitch pussy?
Knee deep. No. Knee deep.
I was dead. She was like, you so busy in my business, what I'm doing with my husband. She was like, meanwhile, your husband was knee deep vacationing in this girl's vagina. And she was like,
girl, that ain't right. That is not right. She already crying every day on TV. You don't have the bitch crying again.
Now, I definitely don't. So this is my stance on it. I don't think it's right either. I definitely don't think it's right for you to rehash somebody going through something like that. But at the same token, I'm very much so that person. You cannot come for somebody else then dictate how they come back for you. If you didn't want that person, now you know Nicki claps everybody up. We see it every time. So if you knew, okay, I don't want Nicki.
Wendy don't care.
I mean, I know she doesn't. But my thing is, for anybody that would come to Wendy's defense or anything by saying something like, don't do that to her, or she just came out of a divorce, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Or I think she's still going through it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, she's still going through
it. Yeah.
I mean, that takes time.
Yeah, when you're going through, people saying she's going through divorce, you shouldn't say that. Okay, that's all fine and dandy, but Wendy Williams puts it out there. And Wendy Williams knows she puts it out there, so she says, if I'm going to put it out there, I got to be strong enough to take it. So I don't think she's really concerned. At least she won't show us that she's concerned.
I don't think she is. I feel like, for one thing, Wendy's been doing this for a long motherfucking time. People have come for her far worse. Yeah. They're just like when she was on the phone with Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston was clapping her. She was like, what the bitch say? She said, I'm sure when you look in the mirror, you have some reservations too. I was like, Lord Jesus. Jesus, if somebody would have said that to me, you close that line.
But she was just for me, I'm just like, you cannot say something and not even for just Nicki and Wendy, just in life in general. Mm-hmm. People love to, let's say I'm sitting down in the living room for something, and you come in the living room and you just say some off the wall comment, and then I bring up something about you it's a very sensitive, touchy subject. Mm-hmm. And what you said may not have even been that bad. You could just came in there and been like, child, you over here fucking with these little dick men or something like that, whatever the situation is. And then I bring up something just really that hits you at your core of your stomach. Uh-huh. You can get mad. But had you not walked your ass out here with your mouth, this wouldn't have happened. Like, I mean,
it's people... Like, what was it? You should just ate your food. Right?
Yeah. If you would have sat there and ate your motherfucking food, this wouldn't happen. Like, you can, like, my whole thing is always, now, we can all say, like, okay, that was a hit below the belt. But I will tell you if it's a hit below the belt, but at the same time, I want to say that you shouldn't have said it. Because, bitch, had you not came out here and instigated this...
I mean, very true.
People love to do that, though. People love to dictate how you respond to somebody. No, my response, listen to that word. I responded. Yeah. I didn't come to you and just... I did not come to you, chemo, and bring up something I know would affect you deeply to your core.
Yeah.
I said it because you came out here and thought you was big and bad, and I had to let you know. Let's not do this again.
Let you know who's bad. Very true. Because I'm the same way. If somebody is bold enough, but to be honest though, if Wendy would have said that to my face, I would have responded. Mm-hmm. But I'm very much that type of person. If you don't say it to my face, it ain't my business. And I'm just that way. Mm-hmm. You bold enough to say it to my face, then we got a whole other thing.
I mean, very much so.
But I mean, granted, Nicki has a platform just like Wendy, so I mean, she used it.
My thing is with that, I'm just feeling like, because that had to be a while ago, wasn't it? Or am I wrong? Wasn't that at least a few months?
That was what her September 16th is the day.
So it was like September something.
Yeah,
it felt like a while ago to me, and I'm just like, so you've been sitting on this till November, girl.
I mean, I do feel like definitely. I mean, if I'm the type of person, there's a time period. If you don't clap back quick, it just really don't matter no more.
Because when she brought it up, I was like. Because I'm not gonna say that I didn't listen to the whole. I didn't listen to the whole Queen Radio. I honestly didn't even know she was doing Queen Radio. I saw a clip of it on YouTube, and so when I saw the clip of it, I was like, "Why is she like? What is she coming for Wendy Williams for?" I'm like, "Did Wendy say something else?" Because I hadn't seen her talk about Nicki in any of the recent episodes.
Yeah,
and so I was like, "She said something else that I just missed the episode." Child, and when they brought that video up, I was like, wasn't this months ago, girl?
That was the very first day she came back, and I remember it because that was one I haven't seen too many of the episodes, but I did watch the first one, mm-hmm. just because I was like, oh, she's back and she went through a hard time. I'm gonna watch the first one.
Yeah.
So, because I don't really watch Wendy like that, but any talk show really, mm-hmm. But I was just like, oh, but when you said that, I was like, what? It was a while ago. It was like 2 months ago. I mean, it is. I feel like there is a time limit on a cutback.
I guess Nicki don't feel that way. Nicki said,
apparently not.
I'm gonna come for you.
I might not have time today, but I will have time, and when I do have it, you will get it.
And she's not done with it. She said next week she's gonna have T.S. Madison and some other girl on. I don't know who that other girl is.
Please send T.S. Madison down.
I do wish she would, but she said she's about to have the two of them come on, and apparently she's about to have some receipts and things about Wendy that she's about to bring up. And I was like, Wendy, you may have this one to leave this petty girl alone.
There's really no reason for all of this. I get, like you said, whoever's response, but I'm just like, Nicki, you got other things going on in your life.
Yeah.
You got money. I just feel like people with money shouldn't be doing shit like this. But who else somebody needs to sit down is this Kaylin boy.
Who?
That's his name, right? Kaylin?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was at work, just blissfully on my break. Walk into the break room. There's like 3 or 4 TVs in the break room. Mm-hmm. And this was Halloween, of course. So I'm in there and we're chilling, and I just happen to glance over to the TV, and who's on the screen dressed like Beyonce? Is this boy?
Was that his Halloween costume?
Yeah, it was Ellen.
It was the Ellen show.
It was the Ellen show. It just happened to be on. Mm-hmm. And it just happened to be the part where he was Beyonce. And so Ellen, I don't know if you saw Ellen's costume, but she was...
Was she Cardi? Was that her costume? Was that another year?
No, that was her. She was Cardi E.
Yeah, okay.
And,
I saw that because that was I think I saw that because that was the opening of the episode, right? She came out, she was talking, and then Cardi B came behind her, and they were trying to do some twerking bullshit.
Yeah, and then... So she introduced him as, he did his drag performance of Beyonce with the medley and whatever.
What Beyonce was he?
I'd say it seemed like more recent Beyonce as far as the garb. Mm. Like kind of close to what she wore for the Super Bowl the second time around.
Oh, okay. She had to help out.
Coldplay.
Yeah.
Because they needed help. So they did that. And I mean, he's a okay dancer. He's not Beyonce. Mm-hmm. But who is? But
I was about to say, I mean, but nobody is Beyonce.
I feel like, he didn't hit all his marks. I couldn't help but notice. Mm-hmm. But it's just... I just don't understand what is Ellen's infatuation with this young man. I mean,
the funniest thing
to take anything away from him. What's for him is for him. He's getting it. He's getting recognition, and I'm not trying to take his coin, but I just don't understand the appeal. Like anytime I see him, I'm just like, I was talking to Matthew about him, and I was like, when they showed little videos of him talking, he just sounded like a Southern dude talking. I'm like, anybody from the South can sound like that. Like, there's nothing particularly interesting about him to me.
I don't know if it's the fact that she found him based on him like looking at like people's recipes and stuff like that and then mocking them. I don't know how many other people are doing that. I don't really look at those too much. I looked at his videos because she put him out. And
that's
I just
the only
found
reason I
it
know
interesting.
him is because of Ellen.
And I just found it interesting the meals that he was able to find or they found for him, whatever the situation is, for him to react to. And so that's what I got caught up on watching. It's just the recipes because a lot of them are so out of this world. Like, what is it? The ketchup and mustard cake. I'm just like, this is fucking disgusting.
I don't know what he does. But he was on, like, I watch every now and then. I like the song association videos.
He was on that?
He was on somebody's. It was like it's one particular channel that.
I thought only one person did it.
There's a lot of different, Elle does it, whatever. But this is a YouTuber who does it, and he brings like a couple of people on there. He had Amber Riley on there, him, Todrick Hall, but I can't remember. I think it's Terrell. I could be wrong.
Todrick Hall's drama.
And it was Todrick Hall and Duran Dunbar.
I don't know.
See, the thing is, back in the day, he was a part of our group, but I can't. But now he sings for like Erykah Badu, and so he's got a little career going on. He was actually on one of these singing competition shows recently. He's gotten a great career, I say, as far as like doing what he loves. Mm-hmm. Anybody that I know that's doing what they love, I'm just like, oh, you're doing what you love.
Please let me do it too. My other topic I had was about Kanye West.
Okay.
I truly don't too much want to talk about him though.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and go over it because after that I just have like a review of a show. Kanye West did an interview with, I'm looking at my notes right now because I forgot who it was. Beats One. Because that's who Nicki Minaj did her first interview before.
That's with Zane Lowe, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then hers turned into Queen Radio.
Okay.
So Kanye West has decided, and this happened like last week, he decided that he was going to go completely Christian on his journey in religion. And he said one thing that he wanted to talk about, or that he did discuss, was when he was saying that the reason he had ran up on stage with Taylor Swift at the VMAs and snatched it from her.
Why are we bringing this up?
He brings it up every time I feel like he can. But he brought it up because he's like going through and talking about a lot of his addictions and whatnot. And he proclaimed that he's addicted to porn and masturbation. And sex. He said porn and sex is what he said specifically. I'm assuming masturbation has to be a part of that.
Well, yeah.
So he was talking about the reason his porn and sex addiction is the reason he ran up on stage and
what?
Wait. It was the reason he ran up on stage. Was
he gonna rape Taylor?
At the VMAs.
Like, I'm confused.
Bitch, as was I. I heard it. He said that was the reason. He had ran up on the stage because of that. He didn't connect the dots for us. Yeah. He just said, this is why. He was like, or he just blamed that on his newly professed addiction to sex and porn. He was like, because that's what made me run up there on stage. And he was like, I remember being a young child and seeing my first Playboy and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, now, alcoholism, I can see you saying like, I'm an alcoholic and me being drunk off my ass that night is the reason I ran my ass up on that stage, or it gave me the courage to run up on that stage. But I don't see how we can tie sex and porn to.
I can see why Beyonce and Jay-Z don't fuck with him no more.
I can see why too. And also I feel like a lot of this is coming from the sex and porn thing being an addiction. I feel like it's coming from somebody, like a pastor or something like that, getting up in his ear and telling him,
probably,
this is the reason for all your issues. He probably told them that was his addiction. He was like, this could be why you did this, A, B, Z, like all that stuff like that. And it just makes no sense to me. He also brought up the point of him, before you chime in, he also brought up the point that he's not going to make another album that's not a Christian album. That was his thing. Now, I don't listen to his music. This is not going to do anything for me. I don't really listen to his music anyway. So him making Christian music is going to make me just not listen to it completely. Because there are a few songs he has that I have listened to and I have liked. Like, I love Jesus Walks. That's one song that always stands out for me. Of course, I love Monster. And there's a few, like, I Ain't Say She a Gold Digger. I love that song. And that song that he made when his mouth had he had gotten a bad accident. He had to get his jaw wired shut or whatever. What the fuck was that song?
Oh, we just when it first came out.
The Wires, that song. I love those songs. Those songs stand out to me the most. They stick out to me the most when I think about him. But other than that, I ain't checking for Kanye. So this is like a good for me.
My favorite Kanye album is actually 808s and Heartbreak, I think is the name of it.
Yeah, I do. I like
that's
some
my
of the songs.
favorite. That's the only one I've heard. To just be honest. I do like some of the singles, like some of the ones you were talking about. But I've never been a Kanye West fan. Typically I don't let the person skew my view of the music because I just care about the music. But this
man is just very stupid.
Well, I just want. He is somebody that needs help. He is someone with clearly mental issues, and he's not getting the help that he needs. And please, somebody listen to this podcast and get him some help.
I, for the most part,
feel like he's not getting the help.
Really would love to be a fly on the wall in the house of Kim Kardashian and him because he seems so unhinged. And
he does. To be
Kim
honest,
is a very calm person until she's clapping up somebody.
Yeah.
She's a very calm person. You don't really see her doing too much, like being out there and being crazy.
Yeah.
That's more of a Khloe thing. I feel like Kim is in the middle of both. For people that don't really pay attention to the Kardashians, most people gonna know Khloe. Khloe's a very outspoken, very boisterous person.
Favorite. And I don't follow the Kardashians, but I love Khloe.
And what's her name? Courtney is very mellow. She's very monotone.
She's high strung to me. That girl.
She is very, but in her high strongness, she's very mellow and very monotone
compared to them. Definitely.
Yeah, and so I feel like Kim is very much so in the middle of both of them. Well, she's the middle child, but she's very much in the middle of both of them. And to think about the dynamic of her and Kanye, I just always, not even to really know too much about the personal life, I would just like to see a day of them, just like how they interact, because I just feel like there's either gonna be a lot of heated arguments, or maybe she's the calm to this fucking storm. I don't know.
You want to know what I think? This is what I think, and of course I could be completely wrong, but I honestly feel like that marriage is over. I feel like more than likely they probably don't even sleep in the same room. They might not even be in the same house. I feel like the only reason that if the marriage is over, that they're keeping up appearances simply because they probably not Kanye, but Kim probably wants to prove everybody wrong that marriage will last. It's kind of like Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown. That marriage is over way before, but they want to prove everybody wrong because they said that they wouldn't last. Yeah. And so they said the same thing about Kim and Kanye. And so, and I could be wrong. Maybe she loves that man, but I just couldn't see how, so I feel like, or say it's not over. I feel like they don't spend a lot of time together. I feel like even if the marriage isn't over, if they're going to stay together, I honestly don't think they spend a lot of time together. I feel like they keep good distance between each other.
I remember when Wendy Williams ate crow on TV because of the fact, she even said it. She said that she doesn't think that Kim and Kanye's marriage is going to last past the amount of time it took for her to get divorced from whatever that man was. I forgot. No, it was like 3 months. She said, I'll give them 3 months before this marriage is over. And then that 3 months that came up, and she people talk about eating crow as an analogy, just be like, okay, I'm gonna take my words back, I'm gonna say apologize, whatever it is for you. Yeah. This bitch had somebody cook up crow.
Did she actually eat it?
Actually ate crow on that stage. I was like, girl.
Well, I don't know. Wendy will probably eat anything.
That bitch gets so hungry.
Yeah.
I mean, you think that bitch don't eat. The way she be acting. Yeah.
That girl.
I was actually shocked to see her. Like I told you, we were watching the Surviving R.Kelly. I know it's old.
Yeah.
I know it's been out for a minute, but I had just never watched it. And it's not that I didn't watch it because of I had any reason to feel like he was innocent and I didn't want to see it or anything like that, or had any ill will towards it. I just Didn't want to see it. I thought it was going to be a one special thing. When I found out it was 6 fucking episodes,
Yeah,
I was
it's
like,
6
all right,
episodes.
now I won't be the one. So, because I'm very much so, it's hard for me to get into a series. I have a very short attention span unless like you are really good. And the thing is, a lot of times nowadays shows lose steam. They don't know how to edit properly. I feel like people want to take 2 hours of content and spread it out over 13 fucking episodes. That's what it feels like a lot for series for me, and that's why I don't really pay attention to most of them. But for whatever reason, last night we had went through and watched a few other shows, and we had finished up Big Mouth. We finished up something else, and then we're gonna watch another show, but I saw Surviving R.Kelly on Netflix. I don't know how long it's been up there, but I was like, oh.
I didn't know it was on Netflix.
So when I saw it, I
saw it on cable.
I just clicked on it. I was like, this is what made me watch it. There's a part in the trailer, the preview, where this woman. So this man is talking. He was like, the stuff that you just find on these tapes. And this woman pops up like as a cut to the next part. And she was like, hardcore porn.
Hardcore porn.
And it just killed me. So I was like, let me watch this first episode.
Yeah.
And the first episode turned, let me watch the second episode.
Yeah.
And the second episode, like by the time I noticed, it was 6 a.m. We were finished the last episode.
Finished it.
Like I couldn't stop because it was so. A lot of the stuff we grew up, I didn't grow up knowing, but you of course heard of like he going to jail for this or he's being sued for these kind of things. But a lot of the stuff that they were talking about and discussing that had happened outside of that was just like mind-boggling to me. Like I didn't know that as he was going to court and he was on trial, he was still releasing music. I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
Like I was dumbstruck that he was so emboldened to still be doing that.
Yeah.
And it also, like, a lot of the other things they were discussing on there, like, when his wife, when his wife was giving her testimony about how she was locked up in the house, and then, what was that singer's name? Sparkle? Was it Sparkle?
Who?
The singer the 14-year-old girl that was in the tapes, her niece. I think, Sparkle, because she had a song with him. And she said when she first was called in, she was called in to be doing background vocals for Aaliyah's album. Mm-hmm. And so she was doing that, and people were like asking her if she knew anything about their relationship, and she kept saying no. But then there was another girl that was like a backup singer or whatever, and she was like telling the story about when they were all sleeping on the little tour bus, and they were like messing with each other, and somebody busted open the door to the actual room on the tour bus, and R.Kelly and Aaliyah were having sex. And she said, that girl was hurting me because she was crying through so much of that series.
Yeah.
Like, she would start talking, and I don't believe anybody else in there. I mean, I believe most of the people talking. Like, I don't see why they would need to lie. Not that I don't see why they need to lie, but they just sound compelling.
Yeah.
But if there's anybody to be believed, it was that girl. I can't think of her name, but you'll know her because she on this red jacket, and she's the only one who wore the same thing and changed hairstyles. Because at one point she had braids, and then there was another part where she had this high up ponytail, and I was like, now hold up. I know damn well she wasn't just wearing that. But she was just crying, like, so profusely, and I was like, I hope this girl ain't got makeup on, because she was doing a bunch of this, like wiping her face and her chin. I was like, girl, you ain't gonna be messy. But for the most part, when the women were crying, you didn't really see their makeup running, except for this one bitch. She was like, I think she was 33 years old, and she has her hair pulled to the side, all to one side, and she was crying about a situation, and you could just see the trail of the tear, and then the makeup separating because of the tear running, and I had told Aaron, I was like, see, now this is why I don't want to go on no damn TV show crying, because I don't need this happen. I was like, I'd have to beat my face down with Beauty Bakery. And he was like, she got that cheap shit on.
She got that cheap shit on. She ain't wearing Beauty Bakery.
But in all seriousness, that series was just very, very enlightening and crazy. Like, the stuff that he was doing to those girls, and I'm going to say he's doing them because I truly feel that he did it. Like, there's no way that you could tell me. Now, when I was younger, when those tapes first came out, being a young boy in Chicago, where people were distributing this and fucking flea markets and on the corners and shit, I saw it as, I was probably like 14, 15, whatever age it was when it came out. I saw it through some kind of means. I forgot. But I knew that was R.Kelly when I saw his face. So I don't know how we got in the courtroom and y'all couldn't say that was him.
He was just a man with money, just like all other men with money. I mean, they get away with that shit. I mean, so they can't get away with it no more. Look at Bill Cosby. I mean, it's just what it is.
My thing is, I feel very, very heavily that, and Aaron and I were saying this as well. If these were white girls, if these were little white girls who was doing this to, this man would have been under the jail by now.
Oh yeah. They would have stopped.
And this can be taken in a multitude of ways for me. It could be because the system is racist and just don't give a fuck about black girls. You could say that, but another side of the argument for me is also that the black community, while we could say the justice system don't give a fuck about black girls, the black community has stood behind him. Not as a whole.
But some of them are still standing behind him.
The mass majority, a lot of people stood behind him. If it wasn't the mass majority, it wouldn't have stuck like that.
But this was in the Boondocks. If you remember, them black folks were like, oh, well, she didn't want to get peed on, she would have moved.
Yeah.
You know.
And the thing is, all of this stuff that, like, before I get to what the point I was just gonna say to that, what you just said, there was a woman that they showed when people were walking into the courtroom or into the courthouse. There was one girl who was like, where was that fast girl's parents when she was getting fucked? And I was like, okay, so...
And where were yours?
Wait, let's break this down real quick.
Where were your parents? I bet she was getting fucked.
Let's break this down real quick. Regardless if that little girl was fast or not, she's 14. Mm-hmm. Not, like I said, regardless if she's fast or not, regardless if she was throwing that pussy in his face all night long, she was 14. He is a 27 or 37 at that time, whatever age it was.
He was too motherfucking old.
Yeah, he's a grown motherfucking man and knows better. And you saying... So where were her parents at? To me says, you know he did it, but you're excusing it because you think this girl is fast. That's what it sounds like to me. Because what you said was not in defense of R.Kelly. What you said was to demean her.
So calling her a whore.
And most of the arguments that I hear and see on Twitter about this always seem to be stemming from, well, where were the parents? Why was the girl doing that? Why was she dressed like this? Or I remember seeing a comment and they were like, well, I saw the tape. And that little girl... she wasn't no beginner at sex. This was her first time around. And I was like...
It don't matter.
It doesn't matter. And my thing is, even if it wasn't her first time around, you don't think that R. Kelly could have had sex with her multiple times before he sat down and decided to film it? Or the tape that you saw? You thought that was his first time fucking with her? He was training and, like, setting these girls up. You thought this was the first time?
We all know that teenagers have sex. Mm-hmm. We all know that. But as adults, we're adults. Mm-hmm. We are supposed to... It doesn't matter if, okay, say, for instance... a little 60-year-old boy trying to talk to me. Mm-hmm. Now, it might be all but thrilling for him to have sex with my 30-some-year-old ass, right? But it ain't gonna be thrilling. It's supposed to be me that say, okay, well that's all cute and all, but we can't do that. So you are the adult. Y'all can't blame the child. It doesn't matter if she put her bare pussy on his top lip. He's supposed to stop it. Okay, he ain't supposed to go through with that. You are a grown man. Leave this child alone.
Truly. But that shit kept on irritating me. But on top of the fact of the black community standing behind him, I don't feel like, with me saying if these were white girls, I don't think this would go down. Because I don't believe. Now, I mean, there may have been cases in the past that I don't know of. Somebody can enlighten me. I don't know. I'm willing to listen to and know about other people doing bullshit like this. Mm-hmm. But... no. If these were white girls, the white community would not stand behind this man. No, they would have crucified him.
Let me tell you something. Now, if he was a white man messing with white girls, it's a different story. This is a black man that was messing with white girls. I'm gonna tell you a little story about something that happened back home. I was this is back when I was working in a warehouse, and it was this man. He was a black man. He now this white woman went to HR. This white woman went to HR, and she proceeded to tell HR that he had sexually harassed her. Mm-hmm. First of all, this man has said multiple times that he's not really attracted to white women, and he would flirt with the black women. Never once saw him flirt with a white woman. Mm-hmm. And also, people were around at the time when she was, harassed. Yeah. He was talking to her, said something about the zoo, because we were doing the job was doing a field trip to the zoo. And he was saying something. And she proceeded to say that he should be in the zoo because he was an animal. And of course, with her saying that, he didn't have too many nice things to say back to her. So after that, she was sexually harassed. So no, and he was fired. He was let go.
That is so
they did not. They did not research that. They did not do. Of course, you mean he could have went back and sued them. I would have.
I truly would have.
But as far as I know, he didn't. But
see, this kind of shit makes you just want to record every conversation you have. So
yes.
If a bitch decides to go lie, you can be like, "Hold on, what day was that?"
Let me get my pump out. You know, and so yes, we know the distinct difference between black and white. I'm not racist anyway, but you know, I'm a matter of fact person. I'm like, this is the way it is.
Now people can say all day long, why'd you bring race into this? Because race is always a factor.
It's always a factor.
In the America that was founded on y'all being racist, race matters, and it's going to always matter as long as equality is not a thing. But getting off of R. Kelly's nasty ass, pedophile ass. Before I get off of that, there was that clip. Of that rapper, I don't know who that rapper is, but he was at Coachella, and they were asking him something. I don't know what the question even was, but I just know that his answer was, if R. Kelly old pedophile ass, and the woman was like, let's not even talk about R. Kelly. He was like, no, I'm a good guy. I'm not a pedophile. He was like, but R. Kelly old pedophile nasty ass. He just went off. I was like, oh my God.
R. Kelly old pedophile nasty ass.
Because they were talking about how in our community, there was no like big name rappers or people really coming and like, and saying negative things about R. Kelly. A lot of them were
the food made it.
But a lot of them were saying shit like they were just essentially enabling him. Yeah. But since the food is here, let me go ahead and wrap up and get to my show review.
Okay.
The Purge. The Purge is a TV series now. It has 2 seasons. Well, the first season is on Netflix or Hulu. One of the two.
I haven't
double check on you for yourself. But and we had to watch season 2 on because it's airing currently. It started on October 15th.
Yes, he told me. Yeah.
So season 1 starts off essentially like the movies do. Season 1 is, you know how like the movies essentially go from like a few hours before the Purge. Then the main plot is the Purge.
Yeah.
Those horrific. No, it's not 12 hours. Those horrific 12 hours.
Yeah.
Of the Purge. I love this because for the most part in the movies, they have a whole, like, there's like maybe one group of people and you just see their stories unfold and the stuff that happens around them. This was like maybe 4 or 5 different people, if I'm not mistaken. 4 or 5 different people and very different lives and us seeing the Purge through their eyes. It was like this one, I won't call them rich. It was a white family though. This man and this husband, or this husband and his wife.
Yeah.
They were going to one of those parties where, you know, the rich people are protected, so they're not getting purged.
Well, true.
They're trying to do the purging to people that are unsuspected.
Well, that's the whole point.
Yeah, so they're at this party. They were essentially there to get money, essentially. They were trying to, like, fund something for a business that they had, and they were like, well, we're just going to have to hobnob with this man, and hopefully we get out unscathed.
Well, I have one question for you. Okay, so what's the timeline here? Is this like...
It's like modern day.
So...
Like, you mean for the movies? What's the timeline? I don't know that.
Because the what was the election year? Mm-hmm. The one that went back in the past.
Mm-hmm.
What one was that?
Election year was the 3rd one.
But I'm saying as far as time.
Oh, I know they kept saying it was 10 years ago from the point of the show.
It's the point of the show. So
the
it
first
doesn't
Purge
say
was 10 years ago.
Where the series is. It doesn't say like where in the timeline it is.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't tell you that. The only thing you get as far as timeline references is when this man is talking about there's a brother and sister.
Because isn't this supposed to be somewhat in the future?
I guess so, but the thing is, the first Purge was set in present day, and then he started going in the past. So, like, remember, the first and second Purges were, like, essentially present day, like, let's say 2019 right now.
Like, just like if it was in an alternate universe.
Exactly. And then election year came out, and it was I think it was, like, the beginning of it, was it? Like, because the election year was supposed to be
the very first Purge.
Yeah. Election year was the very first Purge, and then I forgot what the other one was after that. I can't remember at all. Anyway, but that's the only reference you get is that this brother and sister are talking, and they're like, and he says something about, remember in one of those movies when they were going around there offering people money? They're like, all you have to do, you don't have to participate, bitch. All you got to do is just sit here, collect this money, and if you so choose to purge, you choose to purge.
Yeah.
And then they died. Like, that's usually what was happening. But he had brought up and he had said the purge happened. He's like, I couldn't stand it since the very first purge 10 years ago.
It's the one that we're talking about is called the first purge.
Oh, it's called the first purge. So what's election year?
Election year. See, now I need to go back and rewatch these.
I feel like I'm going to need to.
I
enjoy the movie, so I want to mind rewatching.
I'm all mixed up. Let's see. U.S. Senator, Washington presidential.
Was election year the U.S. Senator that was trying to abolish it, and then they were gunning for her because of that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I remember now.
Because I forget things very quickly. I'm terrible with movies and stuff. People always have to remind me. I'm like, oh yeah, that is what happened. But
one of the things I also love about the show is that it's very diverse. Like I said, so one of the people that you're following is a black woman. She's this black woman that's at like the head of her game, essentially at this, I don't know if it's like a hospital situation, like on the legal ends and whatnot, like securing deals and all that. And then there is the brother and sister situation. There are 2 Hispanic people. And then there's the husband and wife, they're 2 white people. And there was one fucking more. I can't even remember them right now. So it was 4 groups. Essentially, the way the story happens, I'm trying not to go too much into spoilers. I mean, I'm going to spoil some stuff. I'm not going to be apologizing for that. But essentially, they all have their own situations happening at the same time.
Yeah.
And the show keeps following them and whatnot. And then you come to learn that all of them get brought together and like they all get snatched up. They all get body snatched by this one man because they all did him wrong. Now let me tell you how some of them did him wrong. The black girl left the date they were on together. But let me tell you why she left him on a date.
Told me some of this stuff is like some of it was like really, really unnecessary, petty.
It was very petty. Like the most petty was the Hispanic girl. The reason he wanted to kill her is because she was about to walk. He was walking into the store and he opened the door, and she just walked out and didn't say thank you for him holding the door open. And so he decided to kill her for this, to purge her for this. He sat on this to purge her for this.
I think what he does, say for instance, if he has an iPhone, he has his little notes, and he's just like,
you know what?
And he has like this thing, and it's called who I'm going to purge. Like as soon as you cross him, as soon as you cross him, he puts you on that list.
But the black woman, like I said, the reason she left him on this date because he had started talking to her and he was doing a lot of things that I have never dealt with myself. You've dated more white people than I have, but I mean, not to be funny or anything, but
it's just funny the way it came out. You've dated more white people than I have.
I mean, I just haven't. I've dated Hispanics. I guess you can call an Italian a white person if you want to, but he wasn't making these kind of comments. But when they went on the date, I also didn't go on a date with him. I just went to his house and we fucked. That's
not dating.
But when she went on the date with him, he had started bringing up like these little snide comments that I guess he thought. Cause the first thing he said, he was like, "I'm just so happy that you're different than what I thought." He was like, I thought you were going to come up here and be very loud and sassy." And of course, because she's black, and he didn't say that. But why else would you have said that?
No,
like what else would have?
I haven't had anybody come up to me like I mean, not any white person, you know. That I mean, what I've dated 2, but the 2 that I've been with, Matthew was very much. I mean, both of them are very attracted to black people, obviously. But I mean, he feels like he's black. I'm just like, he thinks that he's an honorary black person. And Kyle was one of those people that just was like, "Can we just not talk about race?" So I mean, they were 2 opposite, different ends of the spectrum.
But of course he made that comment. And she was like, she didn't really say anything to it, from what I remember. She just kind of like blew it off. And then it came to a point where he was asking about her job, and she was discussing. Because she told him about her being the first person to go to college in her family. And she was like, I worked very hard for the job that I have. And she told him the name of her job or something like that. And he was like, oh. And he was like, well, they got to get a few of you guys in there to keep up the status. And
oh, no, I would have left. Nah, you only got so many times.
And she was like, so what are you insinuating? He was like, well, you know, they have to have a certain amount of people and blah, 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 like trying to backtrack and whatnot. And she was like,
they do that. But
she was like, I have worked very fucking hard to get where the fuck I am. She was like, you're not about to discredit it because of my damn skin color. Yeah. And so she was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
She a good one, because I was in his face. You know what? This ain't going right.
She grabbed her purse and went on up, and you don't find this out till a little bit later, but she's been gone for a while. And he over here waving to people in other booths and whatnot, just like, oh, I can't wait till she get back. And the waitress comes over. She's like, can I get you anything else? And he was like, no, I think he asked for dessert or something like that. He was like, but just make sure you put everything on this card. I don't want her to come. He was like, I'm trying to impress this girl, and I don't want her to come back and try to pay for anything herself. And she was like, oh. I was like, the lady you were with just left, and she paid for everything herself. And he was just dumbstruck. And
she was like, okay, not only that, I got money.
But the thing is, she had brought up the fact that what he was doing was, the people they did him wrong, he locked up in this cage, and he was trying to be jury, judge, and executioner. So he made them go through trials where he wanted them to confess to what they did. And as for her turn, he was telling her, she was like, first of all, she was very fed up because she went from being scared to very much so. I know damn well I didn't get snatched up for this. She's like, I have survived 3 instances of dying from the purge tonight to end up here, and I won't be the one, bitch. She was like, I left your ass because you were being very fucking racist. And he was like, you're not confessing. She was like, I'm telling you what happened. You may not want to hear this, but this is what fucking happened. And he put the gun up to her face, and she stood up and was like, let me tell you something. You have to pull this trigger, bitch. But I just really enjoy it. Like, I recommend the show specifically for not just having, because it to me is better than the show. The story writing is better than the movie, I mean. Yeah. Because of how they go through different people and the way they type them in together.
And they have the time.
Yeah. The second season, of course, not finished yet. They're only on episode 4, I think, comes out on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. But the second season, which I was like, oh, are we just going to see the next year's Purge? No. The second season is about stuff after the Purge, like life after the Purge. Uh-huh. And I've always been very interested in that because, as we've always said when we discussed the Purge kind of topics, we're like, do people forget that you wake up next door to this person? Yeah. You got to go to work with these people. Yeah, so like you can act crazy all night, but you got to see these people the next day. Yeah. And I mean, I know everything is legal, but at the same time, Chemo, if you tried to come in this house to kill me and we went through this whole hustle and tussle, but the sirens go off and you no longer can legally kill me, I don't know, you ain't about to think about sleeping here tonight. Like, I just don't know how we could get past this now. Like,
yeah, very much so.
So, but, and they also show the inner workings. So, like, this one woman that you're following, the one I kept telling you about, she got her AirPods and her Apple Watch.
Yeah.
She is a part of the NFFA's, I forgot how they say their name, but it is, or their title, but it is, like, the people that watch through the cameras. So, like, how they see all the people doing different things, because not everything is legal, but most things are. Yeah. And so, if you do something, like, you have, like, a certain kind of bomb, they can go ahead and spot you, detonate that bomb on you. And
all right.
We won't have this tonight. But so she's a part of that. So you just see like them watching, and I just could not have that job. Like they're just watching like the sick and depraved things people do, and they have to go through all the cameras to see if anybody's doing any of the few illegal things that night. And like she finds something that is from a family, like a friend that she knows, and she kind of has been obsessed with that for the most part. We, of course, like I said, the show isn't done yet, but like her story so far seems to be that she's trying to figure out why this friend that she knew got purged, because she was like, this bitch will never be out on the purge. She don't like this day. So I just don't understand. Something ain't adding up. Which apparently they're not supposed to be doing. But she risking her job and everything for this.
Yeah.
But like I said, we always wonder about life after the purge is over with.
Yeah.
And I remember the first episode when we're sitting here, the first episode starts with a purge. And they're clocking down, they're like 35 minutes to the end of the purge. I'm like, we 20 minutes into this episode. Bitch, what's about to go down these 30 minutes? But so the first episode finishes up that year's purge. I don't know how how congruent it is to the first season. They haven't said yet, but they finished up that Purge, and then the rest of it so far has been stuff outside of the Purge. Like this one dude was trying to find out why this man tried to kill him. Apparently, he finds out that his information is out on the dark web. There's a hit out for his head, and he's trying to find out who did it. Then you have, like I said, the woman who works for the NFFA, and she's trying to find out why this other woman got killed. This one dude, I want to bring this up. This is where I'll end on.
Okay.
During the Purge, he almost got raped. He's like a college student. They had a project where on Purge night they were supposed to go out and take a picture of this bridge where a bunch of people are like hanging. I don't know if it's called like Hangman Bridge or something like that. They're supposed to take a picture of that and go back to the frat for whatever this hazing ritual is. And on their way back, a woman is like screaming for help, which I immediately was like, set up. Right. And so did one of the other friends scream set up. And so, but they still went over there anyway to go try to find and help her. The one boy goes in and immediately the door shuts behind him. And the other boy is outside now. And he's like trying to help him get the door open. But then he sees this man coming around with a mask on. He was like, bro, I am sorry. I can't be no part of this. So he runs away. And so the dude comes out. He grabs his knife. He stabs the woman, whatever. Kills her, who's like chained up and screaming. I thought she was a part of the setup. But no, she just...
Apparently not.
She expired at that point. So then he like, I forgot how he detains the man. Maybe he just threatens him at knife point or gunpoint, wherever it is. Yeah. But he gets him on. He like tells him to take off his shirt and his pants. Now he's just in his underwear. Then makes him get on the floor. And I'm like, is he about to like just stab him up? And he's just like unbuckling his pants and unzipping and stuff. And the boy's like crying, and he like gets really panicked. And he snatches the knife out of because the man left the knife in the woman. So he snatches the knife out of the woman, and he goes to attack him. And the man's like, I wasn't going to do it, I swear. Like, sir, you were half naked.
I wasn't going to do it.
So he ends up killing him. But his story seems to be that he's about to have, like, strong PTSD from the rape. I applaud the show for doing this because I feel like, I mean, I don't know if it necessarily will, but I feel like maybe at least some people that end up watching it, some men, will see this and be like, so this is what women feel. Because it very much so is I feel like it's tactical in the fact that we see rape stories about women all the time, and that hasn't changed shit about a man thinking on it. Yeah. But with this man going through it, I feel like maybe it'll change because it's not like one of those stories where people say, I got raped by this woman, and nobody believes him because like that wasn't rape, he just had sex. Yeah. This is another man about to rape him. Yeah. And so I feel like maybe it'll be taken a little bit more serious. Yeah. And like he's going through all the same symptoms that a woman goes through. He's like being very distant. He doesn't want to just talk about it. All this, he's like constantly thinking about it and trying to find ways to get it out of his system. And I'm the most intrigued with his just because of his storyline, and I want to know like where they take it. Yeah. But I just feel like even if you don't watch the first season, because it doesn't seem like they really connect too much, watch the second one just for him. So you can, if it's hard for you to understand women victims when it comes to rape, watch it. Maybe it's something to click in your head, bitch.
I don't think it will. Men have been raped many times in movies and films, and it ain't nothing new when these people don't care. Child, I'm sure some of these men that rape have been raped themselves, and they just continue the cycle. You know,
I mean, R.Kelly. Not just say it. But yeah, so I'm gonna end on that. I definitely recommend The Purge. I honestly hope that they keep it to TV shows because it seems like the people that they get to write for it are far better at. Now, I'm not saying the Purge movies are terrible, but I feel the storytelling is much better in the TV shows. Honestly. That's coming from me who likes movies more than series.
I feel like it's mostly just because of the time that they get to dive into it. Yeah. I mean,
very true.
There's only so much you can do with a movie because it's such a finite amount of time. And, you know, people have short attention spans and they ain't nobody finna watch no 5-hour movie. So, I mean, I do enjoy series for that reason because you get to really do a lot of character development and all that type of stuff. So,
but yeah, like I said earlier, our food is here, so we're about to dip up out of this bitch. They have 80 final words, Kim.
I'm good.
This is our shortest episode, but it's going to have to be because I'm hungry. So, thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you guys all next week. You guys have a great, lovely night.